I want to tell you a story.
About a boy who grew out his hair, who became attached to it, finding identity in his appearance.
We begin here, the beginning of the end, or the end of the beginning, just as my friend dropped me off.
Don't come up to Auckland ever again.
Beaten, bloodied and bruised, this was the end of a long roller coaster. But what happened? How did I get here? And where's my long beloved hair? It's funny, you know, the kind of stuff that pops into your head when you're about to die.
The strongest ram has the heaviest wool. Clip the mark of his power. Shear him and he becomes a thing to laugh at. The shield of his strength is gone.
I remember there was this house decorated in plants. Some old man had got them at the market, I think. One of those special member-only ones. I decided I could spruce up some things, but when I went, they all just laughed at me because they were scared. Old people don't like new things. Well, I'd give them something to be scared about. Ever since then, I'd been involved in petty crimes against that industry. It was a game to me, and so I'd get up early solely to steal cuttings of plants from his patch. Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Give him a fishing rod, he eats for life. But give him a high-vis jacket and he thinks he's God. Then one day, they caught on. Garden snipping was a side hustle, a battle of resistance, but my video making was a passion. I couldn't let my life and crime jeopardize that. Plus, YouTube would crucify me if they saw my past fashion crimes. I couldn't get cancelled, so I began hiding these plants. Then I realized all these other illegal things. This book was illegal all throughout Europe in the 70s. Power shells from a marine reserve, bootleg Indiana Jones VHS. But what if they searched my house? I needed to slyly hand over these objects without anyone knowing. Then you can stay with me. I called up my friend Matt. He's always up for a video. I flew up to Auckland and explained to him my idea, or my cover. Sorry, Matt. We walked across the entire country at its thinnest part. It was a pretty smart little adventure. Exhausting. We stopped a lot.
How far do you think we've gone? Well, in my mind...
But that gave me ample time to dump my goods in his bag.
I think we might have done like 9.
When we finished the walk, it was all airy-fairy, mission complete and record attained.
I've never been so relieved. Man, I think it's just all about perseverance.
I almost felt bad, but I had to cover my tracks. I immediately hitchhiked down the country, no trace travel. It's great, meet a bunch of helpful people, then leave them a little something in the back of their car.
Appreciate that. Yeah. See you later.
Look, don't judge, it was survival of the fittest.
One moment, just grabbing my bag.
I got home that same day, and to my surprise, they'd already began their chase. There it was, my escape plan on the news. I was anxious, but fortunately the only one at home still, and I opened the good book for some advice. Then, after a bit of Tintin, I decided I should seek some good, faithful advice. Proverbs 12, verse 22.
The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy.
I think it was obvious what I had to do. I had to change my identity and fake my own death. So I left some notes detailing my circumstances.
To Cannon, my feathered friends, and whom else it may concern. P.S. I'm bored now, it's hilarious. Oh, and look on the left-hand column.
I didn't want to be stranded for too long, you see. I then took a boat out into the wilderness and began my new life off the grid.
Where am I? Oh, man.
This shed was my new home. I'd been here for what felt like a lifetime, almost 4 hours. It was at this point of despair that my girlfriend arrived, armed with a disguise plan to reintegrate me into society. Now no one would ever recognize me. Everyone knew I couldn't grow facial hair. But But it all felt different. I was riddled with anxiety. I could never return to my old life. And why were they having a party at my house which I'd just supposedly died at? I needed to ask myself who I was and where could I return to where it all began to find out.
Take as much as you want to. But the plants were free all along, so I didn't have to...
So, yeah. That's why I shaved my head.
So you're telling me it's not just some crazy lockdown decision?
No.
What you fucking do for framing me, Caleb? Don't come on forward ever again.
It was an adventure of appearance, identity, and change. And that is why I shaved my head. What more is there to say? Except that's not why I shaved my head. This whole story was a construction of my imagination, a fanciful reason as to why I cut it, because, well, I felt I needed a reason that fits into my character. The truth is, we become so fixated on our appearance, it defines us, and we can't imagine a reality without it. But we are more than our outward appearances. It's all but a reflection of our inward self. So what do you reflect? Strive to share an appearance that you're proud of. This is the real Caleb Jack talking, editing at 4:30 AM, shaved head and all. Or is it?